Either you are in the fire or you are half dead. There is no middle ground. The fire is raw life. It is the rejection, the humiliation, the risk, the terror, the exposure, the unscripted moment where you cannot hide behind notes, rehearsals, or cleverness. In the fire, you are alive, every cell awake, because you cannot predict the next instant. Outside the fire, you may breathe, eat, and walk, but you are a corpse in installments. You are sedated by comfort, by cushions, by safety nets. You are not dead enough for a funeral, but not alive enough to taste blood in your mouth. That is half dead. There is no middle ground because half fire is no fire. You cannot be kind of naked. You are either clothed in your defenses or you are stripped bare. You are either burned or you are decorating your cage. The man who is not in the fire lives a museum life, air conditioned, padded, ornamented, and lifeless. The man who is in the fire lives on the razor's edge, bleeding, burning, and therefore alive. You must understand, the fire is the only aliveness there is. When you step into humiliation, rejection, risk, raw exposure, you are stripped of your illusions. In the naked moment, the thousand whispers of the mind have no time to seduce you. You cannot consult your second brain. You cannot flip through notes. You cannot rehearse a clever defense. Life is happening too fast, too raw. That is why every cell is awake. Now look at the alternative. Outside the fire, you are safe. Safe means predictable. Predictable means dull. Dull means dead. You breathe, you eat, you go for walks. But it is a soft coma. You are numbed by cushions, surrounded by walls, kept alive by routines. You are not a corpse. They don't bury you. But you are not alive. You don't bleed. You don't risk. You don't shiver. That is why I call a corpse in installments. The museum life is exactly this. A museum has perfect lighting, clean floors, polished surfaces, glass protection, but nothing inside it is alive. It is preserved, it is protected, it is lifeless. A human being who lives like this, polished, comfortable, ornamented, rehearsed, lives as an artifact, not as a man. The fire is the opposite. The fire is the razor's edge. The fire cuts you, it burns you, it humiliates you, but precisely in that burning, you feel your aliveness. You cannot fake the fire, you cannot half step into it. You are either in or out. That is why there is no middle ground. The middle ground is simply a decorated coffin. The museum is death disguised as life. In the museum, nothing rots, nothing bleeds, nothing changes. Everything is preserved, safe, untouched. But the very thing that makes it safe is the thing that makes it dead. A flower behind glass does not wither, but it also does not smell, it does not bloom, it does not grow. When you live as a museum prize, you are clean, organized, polished. People may even admire you. Look how knowledgeable, look how prepared, look how put together. But all of this is preservation, not living. You become a specimen of cleverness, not a human being on fire. Why must you not live in the museum? Because the museum cheats you. It gives you the illusion of progress. It says, look, you are safe, you are stable, you are in control. But behind that glass, you are already turning to dust. You do not feel it because the cushions make you numb. The fire, on the other hand, will scar you, will expose you, will terrify you. But at least you know you are alive. At least you taste your blood. At least you see that life is not preserved. It is raw, it is burning, it is unpredictable. The man in the museum dies without knowing he was never alive. The man in the fire dies knowing he lived. There is no middle ground. The mind always wants a halfway house. It wants the comfort of preparation, the illusion of insight, the safety of your second brain. It wants to feel bold without burning, but boldness is forged only in the fire. Not tomorrow, not in rehearsal, not in reflection, now, naked, unbuffered, unapologetic. Either you step fully into life, the rejections, the terror, the humiliation, the exposure, or you remain a decorator of your cages. There is no neutral, there is no sometimes bold, sometimes prepared. Action is raw, preparation is padding, and padding is slavery. The choice is absolute. Stand in the fire, live in the extreme, burn, or remain safe, clever, and trapped, forever polishing bars. Every man who has ever pierced the heavens, who has ever shaken the earth, who has ever created something immortal, he did not live in the middle. He lived in the extreme. The extreme is not recklessness. The extreme is the refusal to live diluted. It is the refusal to live cushioned, padded, half asleep. The great ones burned themselves. They walked into humiliation, rejection, failure, ridicule, exile. They were torn apart. They were crucified, sometimes literally, but precisely in that crucifixion, they touched the eternal. The middle ground produces mediocrity. It produces men who are safe, men who are balanced, men who live long lives that no one remembers, not even themselves. Every great man lived in the fire. The Buddha, the Christ, the artists, the inventors, the founders, the warriors. Each one of them knew safety is death and fire is life.